Hey everyone, Erica L. Ayala here, and this is our first rewatch of the 2024 WNBA Finals. It's part of Black Rosie Media, and of course, our Gotta Get Up series. So, I am going to play our beautiful intro, and then we'll do a little bit of housekeeping and then get this party started. Hey, women's basketball fans, welcome to Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans brought to you by Black Rosie Media and hosted by Erica L. Ayala. All right. I just made it back. I was going to check on my snacks. But, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to watch game one. And since I am not a rights holder in the WNBA, what we will do is you'll have to log on to League Pass. And so sign into your League Pass account. Then when you head to League Pass, you're actually going to go to, there's a few different ways you can find it, but you want to do the run it back. And you're going to look for game one, which was on October 10th. So you have to have a League Pass. If you don't have League Pass, you can hang out with me. But I thought it'd be cool to rewatch this series. I've been seeing highlights and, I was at game one. It's really interesting when you're at a game versus when you're watching it. And, things, they look a little different. So we are going to watch game one. We're going to start in 1 minute here. And I'm getting myself together here. So right now, there is just a commercial playing. So again, this is the rewatch of game one of the 2024 WNBA Finals. This was at Barclays Center. This was a game that the New York Liberty actually lost in dramatic fashion. We will talk about that as it comes to pass. But right now, I have Ryan Ruocco and Rebecca Lobo on my screen. They are talking through everything. So if you haven't started your League Pass, go ahead and do that now. Hey, Damien, what's good? Thanks for hanging out. So if you want to watch along with me, go ahead. I'm at the 2:18 mark right now. This is the kind of the pregame with Ryan Ruocco and Rebecca Lobo. Just as a reminder, to get to the WNBA Finals, the New York Liberty had to take down the Las Vegas Aces, and that was a huge matchup for them. And I felt pretty good when the New York Liberty were going to have to go through Vegas. I felt that the team, that's probably what the team wanted. They remember losing game 4 at Barclays on their home court. And it was heartbreaking, quite honestly. Hey, Aloysius, thanks for tuning in. Welcome. This is our watch along. So if you want to hit play on your WNBA League Pass, you can do that. I right now am at the 3:14 mark, and right now it's still pregame. But either way, let's talk through it. We obviously know the outcome not only of this game, but of the series. But I think it's fun to watch back. The New York Liberty, I think, are going to have to learn a lot of lessons from this WNBA Finals. They did get the win. It was not a comfortable win. We've talked about it on Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans, that this was a very New York way to win your first championship. Nothing is given, much is required. It wasn't pretty. It was controversial to some, but they did it. So, yeah, exactly. Damien saying the Liberty had game 1 in their grasp, but they gave it away, unfortunately. And we're going to talk about all of that right now. On the screen, you see all black everything for the crew, led by LaChina Robinson, Chanae there, Carolyn Peck there, Andrea Carter there. And you can see all the lights. You know, they had the activations at Barclays Center. Let me know in the comments, were you at this game? I was there, and it was really great to see. Chanae's X Factor, Jonquel Jones. If you listen to Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans, you know Brian Florentin and I talked about that on our last episode. And this is kind of serving as a hybrid, especially with the holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday. Happy holiday. I don't particularly celebrate the history of that holiday, but I am all about being grateful. I'm grateful for y'all. And so this is a little bit of a hybrid. It's going to serve as an episode of Gotta Get Up, but also just a community hangout. I do have some snacks. I got a banana here. Got to get my potassium on. I've got some food heating up, so I might have to skirt out and go get my food. But right now, this is just the pregame. The New York Liberty absolutely had an opportunity here. And I love that right now in the pregame, Andrea Carter picked Courtney Williams as her X Factor. Well, if you know what went down in game one, you know that that's a solid pick. Chanae had Jonquel Jones, also a great pick, and that's where I was going with that. Jonquel Jones was our feature on our last episode of Gotta Get Up, a podcast for New York Liberty fans, and also Brian broke that down in our first women's basketball roundup newsletter. So that's going to be coming out every Monday. We're going to try to have it come out in the afternoon so that we get the most recent NCAA power rankings for you. So around anywhere from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern time. I think AP usually drops their rankings around 12, around noon Eastern. So that's 11 a.m. my time. Well, when I'm home, like I am right now. So who wins WNBA Finals? Andrea, Chanae, Coach Peck all took New York. The only person on the studio panel that picked Minnesota, the amazing LaChina Robinson. And a little bit of an aside from game one, but I had the blessing, the honor to chat with LaChina Robinson while in Paris. I haven't released any of that yet, but I cannot wait to share some of that conversation with you. So between the women's basketball roundup, we had a newsletter, a pop-up newsletter for the Olympics, the Gold Medal Dispatch, and expecting to do another newsletter, also focusing mostly or exclusively on women, but especially Black women in sports media, people in sports media. Check that out. We have some stuff coming for you. But 0-5 all-time in WNBA Finals. Yes, well, now it's, it's one win at least. So this was a really back and forth game. It set the pace. It set the cadence, the expectations for the rest of this WNBA Finals. Right now, if you're watching and if you want to watch on League Pass, I'm at the 7:38 mark. 7:30, now 7:44 mark. And they're going through the starting lineups. Courtney Williams, Kayla McBride, Bridget Carlton, Nafisa Collier, and Alana Smith. Alana Smith became a big story late in the series. And for your New York Liberty, Sabrina Ionescu, Benajelani Hamilton, Leonie Fibish, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones. And remember, the big story before this game, before the playoffs, was Leonie Fibish being a starter. And that was really clutch for the New York Liberty. It is something, you heard us, we do think Leonie Fibish is one of the 6 players that the New York Liberty are going to protect. So what does that mean specifically for Courtney Vandersloot? What does it mean for the backcourt? I do still think that the New York Liberty need to find a true point guard. And I'm curious to see. Tip-off, controlled by the New York Liberty. And again, spoiler alert, we know how the first half of this game went. But let's just listen in for station identification. I've never said that before. But right now, we are at the 9:40 mark on the game clock for our watch along here. Oh, nice pass by Williams, but a steal by Sabrina Ionescu. Speaking of SAB, I got those dedication, the SAB ones, and that's John Cole Jones gets the first bucket of the game and one. Really love the color. Dedicated to, I can't remember the full, but they're really nice, green, like an olive green color. I always have an issue with Nikes, though. They run so narrow, and I do not have a narrow foot. But anyway, I digress. John Cole Jones gets things started. First 3 points in the game belong to John Cole Jones. I love that Courtney Williams plays in her Moolah Kicks. She's one of the, the first WNBA player to sign with that company. And if you ever go to Dick's Sporting Goods, you see Moolah Kicks everywhere. I have 2 pair. Thank you. Shout out to Natalie, the founder of Moolah Kicks, who's hooked me up. Kayla McBride, such an interesting player in this series in the WNBA. She talked a lot about this Minnesota Lynx team kind of reviving her career in some ways. I love to see her get to the finals. Obviously, I also love that the New York Liberty won, but this Minnesota team is going to be interesting. Hamilton with the 3 doesn't go, but Brianna Stewart in position to get a rebound. So Stewart and Ionescu, we know, struggled throughout the playoffs. That's something that was definitely reflective in Stewie's game late. And we'll have to talk about that a little bit later. Let me know, y'all. Are you watching along or are you just kind of hanging out? What questions do you have for me? This is also kind of an AMA, Ask Me Anything, because we're hanging out here. Like I said, I've got my banana. I've got some chicken nugs heating up with my favorite Carolina barbecue sauce, and chicken nuggets are like the perfect combination. When it comes to wings, I prefer peri-peri sauce. Are y'all familiar with peri-peri sauce? I know of peri-peri sauce or peri-peri spice from South Africa, but Trader Joe's makes a pretty good one as well. But let me know. Are y'all watching along right now? 5-5, 7:33 in the first frame. Leonie Beavish, let's go. I'm so excited for her game next year. I'm so excited for her game. Let me turn this way, actually. Nope. My desk is a little messy. I thought I was going to be in the living room, but League Pass was not working on my Roku. So I had to switch things up here. Right now it's 8-5. Ooh, 8-5 New York. Stewart hitting a 3. We didn't see all too many of those, unfortunately. Here we go. That's my living room over there. All my windows here in Tulsa. My messy office. Fourteen points at the 6:04 mark. 14-5. Your New York Liberty leading. Oh, but it wouldn't last. But a great start. Sabrina Ionescu with a hustle play. You'll love to see it. Leonie Beavish, 6 points already. The WNBA Finals are presented by YouTube TV. So let me know, what was the holiday like for y'all? It stayed quiet and warm here in Tulsa. I'll be home in New York coming up. Brianna Stewart, 4-time national champion, 4-time NCAA tournament MOP, 2-time now 3-time WNBA champion, 2-time WNBA Finals MVP, 2-time WNBA MVP, and I didn't even get through the whole list. The Liberty have a lot of, all right, let's talk about it, Damien. The Liberty have a lot of work to do when it comes to holding leads in games. That is the truth. That is the truth. Cute little feature about Stewie, little baby Stewie. She looked almost exactly the same, which is hilarious. Yes, the New York Liberty absolutely need to work on holding leads, more discipline. I think it grew over time. And honestly, that's what I thought. That was my fear coming into the playoffs, but coming into the finals when it came to Minnesota. I've said this before. I've been pretty consistent. When the playoffs started, I said, we're getting, what did I say? I said we are getting New York, Connecticut. That's what I said. And I gave it to Connecticut. Once we got to the finals, before the playoffs started, I said New York, Connecticut. Preseason, I said New York, Connecticut, and Connecticut wins. Then when we got to the start of the playoffs, I said New York, Minnesota wins. And it's because of what you're talking about right here, Damien. The discipline was growing, but I wasn't sure it was where it needed to be. Whereas Minnesota played really well, especially against New York in the regular season. Long heave from Ionescu. And this is where, so we are at 14-5 at the 6:05 mark. And now it's 14-8. So to your point, aggressively smart. Pau can be the point guard after Vandersloot retires. That's interesting. I like Tahina's game. I really do. And I would love to see some overlap. I hope that Courtney Vandersloot gives New York another year. And or New York goes and gets another veteran guard that can grow with whoever they think is going to take the reins at point guard. Pau, I think could be. I want to see. We need some sandpaper. We need some moxie. You know, Jalen Sherrod, great energy. I understand though why she didn't get the time, the minutes on the court this year, and I would love to see more time for Sherrod. That being said, I do think that the New York Liberty are going to revitalize their bench. I think they're going to have to. And I'm not sure, I think it depends. I think it depends on how things go, to be honest. So the fouls start picking up. I don't have an alcoholic beverage, but I would probably take a sip of my drink every time Nafisa Collier gets a jump ball. I'd be drunk all through tomorrow. 17-8 is the score right now. 14-12 left on the game clock in this first period. Jonquel Jones looking good for the Liberty. Sabrina, I didn't remember that Sab started so cold in the first quarter of this game. The looks a little rushed, doesn't seem to have her shot. We know later in the series, and now to this offseason, Sabrina Ionescu with an injury. So, but I love to see her driving early. That was something I was looking for. I remember in this game one, getting to the basket is going to be critically important for Sabrina Ionescu. She's not completely healthy this offseason, but it's upper body, not lower body. So I'm very curious to see once she really starts getting after it, what things are going to look like. I see Katie Smith on the bench. Of course, we know now Katie Smith, not a part of the Minnesota Lynx coaching staff. We'll talk a little bit about who is a part of the Minnesota Lynx coaching staff. Very interesting. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But what I have been thinking and wanting to say on the Gotta Get Up, oh, great move by Jonquel. And usually she takes that and just kind of holds it and would get a walk. But that was a good finish. I still want Jonquel Jones to keep the ball high. Can we get that message to her? On the next podcast that she is a part of, please tell Jonquel Jones to keep the ball high. Good grief. She gives me heart palpitations with that. Ooh, big block. Really good defense there by Nafisa Collier. Maureen Johannes will come back along with Rebecca Gardner. Sabrina Ionescu must improve her speed and athleticism in order to be great. I mean, that's nothing new. That's why the hashtag unquick, that's where that came from. I do think she's gotten better, which is, again, why I said what I said about most improved player. I don't understand how she wasn't first team all WNBA, excuse me. But she has gotten better, but the expectations for her are high. And that's why people gave her demerits when it comes to individual awards. I don't subscribe to that. I think you go by literally your numbers. Were you better or worse than your numbers last year? I mean, that's what makes you a candidate for most improved. And for a long stretch, Sabrina was absolutely better in so many categories. Defensively, her quickness, her ability to play make. Yo, what's good, JC? No worries. We're watching the whole game. So pop in and out as y'all feel free. Right now, I'm at the 2:11 mark in the first period on the game clock. I'm watching on WNBA League Pass. But we're just hanging out. Let me know. Did y'all have a good time for the holiday? We got to see some folks from the New York Liberty all bundled up and trying to keep dry at the Macy's parade. That was pretty dope. I tuned in exactly when the New York Liberty, I woke up and I was like, oh, I got to turn on the Thanksgiving. I haven't even thought about the Thanksgiving Day parade in years. I'm talking a solid probably 8 to 10 years. And it was really exciting. Niara we saw, Benajelini Hamilton, Stewie was there. Although I saw, did y'all see this on social media? Oh, there goes Sab's first three-pointer. She had to work for that one. 24-12 with 1:35 left in the first period. Oh, nice block by who? Niara Sabali. There goes Vandersloot setting up for Sabrina Ionescu. Bang! Knocks it down. I still think if Sloot can go, if she's okay playing off the bench, she has a role for this New York Liberty squad. I still think, I don't think it's 2 years, but another year for sure. And again, you need some overlap. In my opinion, if you're going to get with that 7th pick, a point guard, which I think makes sense. Oh, come on, Sloot. Go strong. Go strong. Deuce. Let's go. If you're going to get a point guard, a first rounder, you want that first rounder to work with a veteran like Sloot. Also, I'd love to see Sloot continue to climb up the ranks when it comes to assists. But we'll see what happens here. But I was saying about the yo, what up, Daniel? What up? People trying to make a lot of who was and who wasn't shown on the float. People oh, Stewie wasn't, that's camera angles, baby. It's live. The Thanksgiving Day parade, Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. I don't know. Maybe it was just me. Who are my favorite announcers? Oh, this is a good question. I love hearing Monica McNutt. I love hearing Andrea Carter. I love hearing LaChina Robinson. And what's interesting is all of them are analysts. They're all analysts. Most of the time when I'm doing hockey stuff, I should say I started as an analyst. I've been doing play-by-play recently. But being able to narrate what's going on is play-by-play. Being able to tell people why it happened, how it happened, is more of the analyst role, really breaking down the X's and O's. And I think those three, LaChina's been doing more studio stuff at the national level. She does some analyst work, I think, for Atlanta Dream still and for NBC in the college or Olympic game. But those three, at any position, those are my favorite. I like their energy. I like announcers with a lot of energy, but the energy is in service of the game. They can make little jokes here and there, but it's in service of the game. My favorite play-by-play. Ooh, that's tough. I like Cindy Brunson. She is a mentor of mine, I will say. I do think that Cindy, and I know people have differing opinions of this, but I think Cindy, she does a great job really giving Phoenix fans what they want. I actually have never heard Cindy do play-by-play for college. I've heard her do Athletes Unlimited a little bit, but I want to listen. She just was in Palm Springs. Oh, nice floater stab. That's the thing. I'll tell the Cindy Brunson story in a minute, but that's the thing that was missing after the injury, I think. And we're going to do the rewatch. And so if you're not on our Slack community, I'll put the link in shortly, but join the Slack community because I'll give you an opportunity to, vote on which days. It will be a little bit based on my schedule. So we'll have to wait a week because I'll be in New York next week. So I won't be able to do the next game 2 next week, but join the Slack community, vote in the polls, let us know what days you want to watch, but we're going to get to watch this. And so remember this, book it, flag it, remind me in Slack, social media, whatever. Let's look at Sabrina's floaters. I want to be able to somehow track her floaters because my eye test right now is telling me that was probably the first indication that we should have looked out for, that she was out of rhythm. We've talked about that a lot, that Sabrina at some point in this series, whether it was fatigue, now we know an injury, she was out of rhythm. And her floater was so key for the New York Liberty offensively. So I think we got to look out for that. Okay, JC, back to your question. I got to say Cindy Brunson, probably my favorite play-by-play. I love Zora Stevenson. Also, I have to be honest, not only is Zora Stevenson my soror, but she also went to Elon, which is where I went. So we're literally from the same chapter. So I'm always going to share and show love for Zora. So proud of what she's been able to do. So Zora and Cindy stand out to me as far as play-by-play. At the national level, Ryan is pretty solid. You bet. He has like these little isms, right, that become a part of WNBA culture. So I like that. I like that question too. Thank you for asking. Damien says, I had dinner with my half-sister, ate salmon with pasta. Ooh, salmon and pasta is a underrated combo, in my opinion. I've been wanting to cook up some salmon, so now you've inspired me. Thanks so much for sharing. Let me know, what did y'all have for Thanksgiving if you did celebrate again? I think of it more as an opportunity to be grateful than celebrating what I think is a sordid, incomplete history lesson at times, but I digress. Do you want Marine Fatou? Which point guard would you have interest in signing? How would you revitalize the bench? Okay, so a lot of you know I'm very much an eye test person. I need to get a little deeper into the NCAA season. I have not watched a lot of NCAA yet. I've been doing my hockey thing. Oh, Courtney Vandersloot with the hands. Good job. Courtney played some really solid minutes. Nothing to the level of when she won with Chicago, but she did what she needed to do. And that's what got the Liberty this win. I've said it a million times in a million different ways, but it was aces in places. Corey Close said something. She said, someday, or this is like a mantra they have in UCLA, and maybe someone else said it before, but I know UCLA women's basketball says, some days you, some days me, always we, and the fact is, the sum is better than its parts, or, you want to play for the name on the front, not the back. However that's just another way of saying that. But they always play team first, as opposed to individually. And I think the New York Liberty team really embodied that. That can be hard, though. And that's where I think the frustration about Sandy's style comes into play, the frustration for what we eventually will see in a game like this. But so to answer your question, Damien, I don't know who is the right point guard. I can tell you a prototype. I want them to be fast. I want them to be able to get downhill. That's not always the same thing. Yeah, you can have someone who's fast but doesn't want any part of being in the paint. I need them to be able to effectively drive. Obviously, they have to be able to pass the ball. I don't really think you can play a guard position or play in the backcourt without having range. So, someone who's able to knock it down. The New York Liberty have had really aggressive, really fast guards in the past that could not shoot the ball. So I don't want that again. We got to move away from that. I want someone with a high IQ. Sandy, she's kind of a laissez-faire. Again, she trusts her team. She trusts the process that her team is on. And so you need a high IQ, confident point guard, someone who is not going to have plays called for them, someone who is going to be able to, just like we saw from Courtney Vandersloot right there, be able to react to what the defense gives. And that sometimes means they have to take the shot. They have to be scrappy. We need someone fast, scrappy, high IQ. And this is a team that wants to be able to play. Nice take by John Quell Jones. Fantastic pass from Courtney Vandersloot. Gosh, that was beautiful. I'm at the 8:05 mark right now. 36-21. Such a great pass. Gosh, that was beautiful pass from Courtney Vandersloot. Got the rebound, immediately looking up. That's what you want. That's what you want in a point guard. A point guard doesn't need to be mindlessly dribbling. It's quick. Boom, 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 boom. They're executing like a ninja. So anyway, I need to watch more college. I need to reevaluate the scouts for some of the players that New York has rights to, that they might want to gain rights to, knowing there's a prototype or, there's a pool of players that Jonathan Kolb likes to tap into. Rebecca Gardner, I need to go back and watch some of her play. I don't remember her play very well, and she's been plagued with injury even before sitting out this entire season. So I need to go back and reevaluate that, to be honest. I remember liking her game. It was just one of those things, was she going to stay healthy? So I have to see again what I think we can get from Rebecca Gardner, and if I think she helps, to my point, revitalize the bench. My immediate gut is to say yes, because she has a dynamic aspect to her game. I think it has its limitations, like any player, but she has the ability to be dynamic, so I like that. Celebrated the day of mourning in community and made Hawaiian roll pesto pizza when I got home. Okay, JC, you get me. I say Thanksgiving, air quotes, just because that's what people know it as. But yes, thank you for that. And Hawaiian roll pesto pizza. You might have to drop the recipe. I ain't never heard of that, but those all sound like things I could get down with. So I love it. You're indigenous, okay, uplifted the ongoing resistance of my people. I hope to be in allyship. So if there are things that you want us as a community to learn and to know, if there are ways that I can revitalize how I talk about the day, because I'm very much decolonizing my thinking on that. So I'm very open to whatever. And I have to really shout out my younger sister, Jessie, who actually got me into hockey, which got me into sports media, but she is very much tapped in and I learn a lot from her. So always open to conversation, always open to learning, and honestly, always open to creators who you think we can tap into, who represent not just great sports and basketball knowledge, but also represent other communities like the indigenous community. I mean, we had Shoni Schimmel, we have Peely now, who plays, of course, for Minnesota. So that would be dope. How do you revitalize the bench? For the New York Liberty, you have to start with thinking about, can you find Leo more minutes? I think we know the answer is yes. Can you find Niara more minutes? I think the answer should be yes. And is there someone else on the bench? Kayla Thornton, but I don't know. Kayla Thornton to me seems like an obvious choice to leave in the expansion draft. And I hate that because I really liked KT, and there just seemed like, because of the top end talent on the New York Liberty, that Sandy Brondello at times had difficulty integrating Kayla Thornton. But Kayla Thornton had a really key role, although maybe underappreciated, under the radar. But like Courtney Vandersloot, who just had some significant minutes, Kayla Thornton in Game 5, in Game 4, even though that didn't go the Liberty's way, she had significant minutes playing energy role. And so if you lose KT, who, if I had to guess, is probably who they lose, I guess it also depends on who or how the Valkyries are going to set up their roster. Maureen Johannes could be someone else. Her rights are up for grabs. Oh, drink, jump ball. Jump ball. I think that was the first one for Nafisa Collier. I don't have a drink on me right now. I'm going to go get something to drink in a little bit. But we have our first official jump ball. I think that was a clean one. Actually, the ball kind of ended up, she kind of was able to squeeze it between her knees. That one seemed clean. So, but that's something else that as we watch this series, I will be keeping an eye on. Oh, I would have liked Benajelani Hamilton to just grab onto that. I'm at the 5:26 mark in the second period, 39-24 New York Liberty, Game 1 in the specified series. That ended with a New York Liberty win. That got tipped by Collier. Good rebound by Benajelani Hamilton. Nice little floater there by Stewie. 41-24. 5:10 left. How do you revitalize the bench? I still want to answer this question. I think you maybe lose KT. I think if not KT, you got to think Maureen Johannes is high on the list. Hanju is someone else. I've said what I had to say about Han. I know she's very popular with New York, and I get it. Oh, that looked good for Phoebish. Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I would not begrudge her. I think that Maureen would love to come back to New York. It's not, at least in this stage, up to her. We'll see what happens on December 6th. But it depends. Maureen Johannes, everyone was saying she would be a starter somewhere else. Even other WNBA players have said that. I never agreed with that. And that's not anything against Maureen. She's extremely exciting. You have to find her minutes. And that's the difficulty that Sandy had and why she gets slack at times, because she didn't always find minutes for Maureen. She hasn't always found minutes for Kayla Thornton. Benajelani Hamilton had to have a conversation and really understand what her role was expected to be. Short. I think she forced that. I wouldn't have taken that. Oh, wow. What a recovery there by McBride. Didn't like that defensive effort. Good move there by Sab. That little hezzy, she's gotten really good off of that. She's just stronger. She's quicker. She's healthier. Her lower body is strong. Oh, wow. I didn't like that. I thought that was a foul. She got hacked. Anyway. Conversations about Latina. Yes. Yeah, that's interesting, JC. You are dropping nuggets. I think Mexico has a really interesting history. And I think when those of us from the United States, as we know it, they just did the ooh, she feeling it. That was one of my favorite things from a few years ago, from the Williams family. But there's a lot of history. Like, I'm still learning a lot about Mexico. I think there's a specific cultural aspect to Mexico that I always assumed was prevalent throughout the entire country, which is also very ignorant of me, if I'm being honest, because Mexico spans just as wide effectively as the United States. And we have, well, the United States is somewhat of an outlier, but our cultures are widespread. But my point is that because of the colonization in that landmass, that part, right, of the continent, I didn't always understand fully the Spanish, as in from Spain, influence. In addition to, of course, the indigenous communities, the direct connections to the African slave trade, and how that impacts culture in certain aspects or in certain areas of Mexico. So, oh, there we go. 2:16 in the second. It's already starting, everyone. We know how this is going to go. But 41-34 right now. A 10-0 run in the last 3:07 and counting for the Minnesota Lynx. Turnovers, empty possessions. Leonie Fibish got a little bit, she kind of fell in love with her three-pointer, I'm seeing in this first half, where you can find a better look. So, and then again, they've said it on the broadcast, Minnesota just got better defensively. Ooh. Nice little bounce. Whoa. Oh, I remember this one. Leonie Fibish gets called for this block. It's hard because you're not necessarily matched up in transition, but someone has to let Fibish know that. That was a big part of this series as well. Fibish getting absolutely clotheslined. This is the first one. Alana Smith comes. No one calls it out. And she just, and for them to call this on Fibish is wild to me. I mean, is Alana in position? I don't think so. Excited for Rebecca. I am too. I think that her skill set can offer a different look to this New York Liberty team. And I think she immediately elevates the IQ. Not that that's not something you can get from Kayla Thornton. You get it, obviously, from Fibish and Niara Sabali. But if you had all of those players and add a Gardner, you know. He became a 1-3 agent, and here she is back in the league. She's a huge reason why they're in the finals. They're giving a good story about Alana Smith. James Wade, also a great arbiter of international talent. Now, of course, Chicago did not do anything with Leo, but Gardner, or just arbiter of talent overall. So Gardner, a part of that. Of course, Vandersloot was in Chicago. James Wade, I feel like I can't be the only one, right? We just didn't like how he left things, how he ended it. I don't think you begrudge the man, but I don't know. It seems to me, with no further knowledge, that things could have been handled differently, and they weren't. So something seriously needs to happen around reffing. I don't know if the WNBPA can put something in their contract, because it's getting ridiculous at this point. That is interesting because, and I need to look at it again, but Nneka Ogwumike reacted to something on social media, and I was in the middle of doing something else, so I wasn't able to really listen to it. But so, I mean, Sabrina did not have her shot in this first half, but her effort was there for sure. And again, you need her to shoot some of those shots. Good help there by Vandersloot. Actually, I think I have a photo of what I just saw. Let me see if I can find that photo. There are some photos I was pulling up in preparation for today's watch along to have for the thumbnail. And there's this one photo of Courtney Vandersloot that is just fantastic. Bridget Carlton, I need to look at her numbers for this series. I expected her to find her way a little bit more than she did. Jonquel Jones getting ready to talk to Holly Rowe. But I found this photo. That I'm going to pull up for you shortly. Just Courtney Vandersloot doing a little bit of everything in that first half for the New York Liberty. Again, we know how it ended. But look at this vertical. That's what that play was towards the end of this second quarter just now. And she gets a piece of it. She definitely changes the trajectory of the shot from Alana Smith. But I'm pretty sure that's what we just saw. I don't know if y'all are watching along with me in real time. Also, the New York Liberty support team looks like they had they all kind of are wearing like a maroon or dark pink maroon kind of purple hue. I love it when you coordinate in that way. Anyway, all right. So it's halftime. I'm going to leave you with this photo because I'm going to go get a snack and a drink, and we'll be back for the second half. Thank you. It was not cool by Wade. It was just sus. Like, overall, am I mad that you went to the NBA? Do you, boo? But it was a little cray-cray. But anyway, I think officiating is one of the things that the WNBPA definitely wants to talk about. But we're going to break down the CBA in the offseason, Athletes Unlimited, Unrivaled, all of the things. But let's take a little break. I'm going to go on mute for just a minute or two, get something to drink, and we'll be right back. All right. I had to reheat my nuggets. I was out here talking too much that they're not hot anymore. Got to reheat my nuggets. This is the not sponsored, totally open to it Trader Joe's. This Carolina Gold's barbecue sauce, I love this with nuggets. Little chicken nugs. It's my thing. It's my thing. Okay, Damien, I saw you said something here I want to get back to. The NBA and WNBA needs a third party for the refs to be fairless when a foul is called. Oh, do you mean like so we do this in hockey where they like call Toronto? I don't know, how do replays work? They do it in-house. They don't go to like a so the NHL, well, part of that is because they also have concussion spotters, but they can also review things off site. And then those people who review, you actually don't it's kind of anonymous or something like that. But VAR, replay, these systems are flawed in every single professional league, men's or women's. That's number one. So I don't know if that's what you were hinting at. Excuse me. But that could be interesting. I think we've definitely seen the WNBA get experimental with challenges, coaches' challenges. Certain things can't be challenged. We've seen that in this series. We'll get to that. Wow, how did that go in? Courtney Williams just dancing around. But, you give them that possession. You give her that shot. They denied everything else. So that was good. All right, folks, let's buckle up. It's going to start getting a little tight. Leo's shot was kind of off. She seemed disrupted. But again, she was getting clotheslined. Oh, drink. That was jump ball number 2. That one, I think, more egregious. But when you give her the first one, here we go. That's maybe a jump ball. Let me see it again. I want to see it from the other angle. She got her hands in at a point for a jump ball. The question becomes, did she hit her arm? So far, I'm not upset yet, but I also know how this series goes. Well, they're going to get Alana Smith, so ball don't lie, as they say. Also not sponsored, but I do have a part-time job here. If you ever come to Tulsa, Oklahoma, first of all, look me up while I'm still here. But this is a bearded theologian. Let me tell you, your girl don't drink beer. I really don't. I've never liked beer. It's like skunky to me. Don't care for it. But now I pick up some shifts every once in a while at a microbrewery, and this is my favorite beer, hands down, not even a question. Oh, I think I just saw the play. Hold on. I'm actually going to stop this. I think I just saw the play where Sab gets hurt. So I'm at the 8:06 mark right now in the third. Did we ever confirm when it was? But she went down awkwardly. I'll talk about my beer in a little bit. Hold on. My mouse as I fall. Well, not me, but the camera falls. Okay, hold on. My mouse is on the other side, so I want to go back a little bit here. So let's see. Leo goes up for the shot. Benijah Laney Hamilton. Ooh, she definitely elbows Courtney Vandersloot. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's the jump ball. Oh, let me see from the other angle. Let's see. Boom. Okay. Boom. Good defense by Carlton. Okay. Fee comes in. Does she might get her on the high on the arm. And then I don't know. I could see it either way. I don't think of the jump balls that we saw, that doesn't make me too upset. Okay, here comes the jump ball. And I'm going to look. So I'm at the 8:27 mark in the third, 46-40 New York jump ball. Sab controls. She goes to the left, and that's when Alana gets the foul. Okay, so we're almost caught up here. Yeah, the officiating has not been great. This was like, you can argue game 5 all you want. The whole series was trash. Okay, here we go. Inbound, Stewie inbounded it, I think, to JJ. Now Benijah has it. Stewie cutting from the left, cutting down. Sab comes up, grabs the ball. She's eventually going to go to the right side. There she goes. Now she's cutting. She gets the ball from Stewie, beats Carlton, and it's going to be Courtney Williams comes over for the help. 4 seconds left. I've paused it. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. 8:13. So if you wanted to watch this, 8:13 on the game clock. So Sab now gets the ball. She is very wide and a little off balance. Like her left leg is aligned with the basket, but her right foot is a little bit off kilter. She goes up, shoots that, and then she comes down, and Williams lands and now is facing the basket. And Ionescu, she got hit somewhere. I can't see really from that. I can't see from there where Sab got hit. She definitely did land underneath her. Okay, so maybe that wasn't it. I don't know. Oof. And then she blows a bunny bad. Sab. And that is where the game starts turning around. So it's a tie-up, then a foul on Alana Smith. Then the possession goes to Sab. She goes for a quick shot, a floater, and you can see that she wants a closeout foul on Courtney Williams. And I think she had a good argument because when I slowed it down, Courtney Williams is going towards the basket and her leg, she's lunging forward. I'm very close to the camera. She's lunging forward and her leg is behind her, well behind her, and is right in Sabrina's landing space. So I couldn't tell from at that speed if she gets hit also in her hand, but Sab then blows her next shot really badly. I mean, obviously, well, I guess I don't know how long Sab was hurt. I don't know when she got hurt. If y'all know, let me know, because I definitely want to keep an eye on it. Obviously, we know she hits a big shot later in the series. But that doesn't mean that that's the first time that she, got hurt. But I'm definitely keeping eyes. I'm keeping eyes. Anyway, so now I do have a beer. Sorry, they were doing the replay on the bad layup miss by Sab. I'm just trying to see. She doesn't really give anything away. Sabrina is a pro. She's a pro's pro when it comes to that. Remember, she got through that Connecticut series with an injury. We didn't find out until after the season ended. 2-point game. Here's where it starts getting loco crazy. 46-44. That's probably a foul. That was maybe a walk, though, to be honest. She doesn't shoot. Jonquel, good defense there. She got tied up. She didn't bring the ball down. I like that, but it was just good defense. See with it. Almost dropped. Lowe's throws that away. Now it starts getting a little crazy. But yeah, Cabin Boys. Come to Cabin Boys. This is a Belgian quad style beer. It's my favorite right now. It's pretty strong. It's like, what is the ABV on this? Blind pass by JJ. She was a little tired on that one. 8.4. So if I start sounding a little silly, it's because I didn't eat my nuggets. Oh, that's a yep. What do y'all think? So the NBA, or excuse me, well, I guess both the NBA and is it also the NBA? Well, either way, the WNBA coming back to NBC. I'm going to tell you, I like it. I'm going to be honest. I think NBC has a really solid lineup when it comes to women's basketball. Again, I've already disclosed Zora Stevenson is a soror of mine. We went to the same school. Our alma mater is the same. We overlapped a little. I'm older than her, but we didn't like, ooh, Phoebish. Good grief. I love that she keeps shooting because her three-pointer was looking a little raggedy in the first half. NBC, anyway, my point is NBC has a really nice lineup when it comes to broadcasters. Zora and LaChina seem to be the staples when it comes to what NBC is doing. And I love that for us. I haven't always been able to watch the Ion games. I will say the whole Ion package from soup to nuts seems very well thought out, very focused on storytelling in the WNBA from a WNBA landscape, and I love that. So I hope that Ion does find their way back into the marketplace. This is live. So I will say this. If you want to know my thoughts perhaps on other broadcasts, join us in the Slack community. I said I was going to share the link and I didn't. Let me do that now. I have thoughts and I'm not going to say them live right now for a few different reasons. But hold on. How do I do this? Already that 8.4 ABV is kicking in. Now let me do this. Invite. Yeah, here we go. Copy invite. All right. Putting the link in if you want to join us in the Slack community. We also have a newsletter. It's going to come out Wednesday afternoons. Brian Florentin is helping curate that. Roberta Rodriguez, who of course helps me with Tempestagi Talk, is also going to help with some overseas stuff. We're going to add some, sports business stuff eventually. So we're really excited about what we're building at Black Rosie Media. We appreciate y'all coming on board. And it's all in service of women's basketball. But I really like what NBC, ooh, nice move on the left side by Sab. Excuse me. Ooh, nice take by Williams. Just misses, though. This is where it starts getting frantic. I remember being at this game, and Tarika Foster Brasby and I were working together for some CBS stuff. So we did pregame stuff, and then I did a post. Ooh, not Vandersloot in the corner for three. Oh, did I just still, even though I know how this game ends, I know how the series ends, did I still get a little bit of PTSD? Yes. Just like when I see a pop-up go to second base when I'm watching a New York Mets game. If you know, you know. Luis Castillo, I will never forgive you. Anyway, nice take by Sab. Good fake to keep the defense honest. All right, so I think her thumb seems to be fine there. The work she did getting downhill. They're talking about the work that Sabrina Ionescu did in the offseason to get downhill. I'm telling you, Unquick was not a storyline this year, and I love that for us. I love that for her. I love that for us. Yes, Damien, this is a problem. We know Sandy has talked about it. The players have talked about it. We talk about they're either good in 1 and 3 or in 2 and 4, but never can they put 2 full quarters, 2 20 minutes together. Like not even 2 and 3. It's usually like they're either odds or evens. And that's the consistency. Some of that comes with familiarity. Some of that comes with just better accountability and decision making. If you were to look at Sandy Brondello's approach, maybe comparative to Cheryl Reeve, especially comparative to Cheryl Reeve, especially old school Cheryl, Sandy at times needs to just yank on the reins. It's not that she's incapable of doing that. If I were to say and give a criticism, I think that maybe she gives a little bit too much slack. She lets her team go a little bit too deep into whatever is not working. And sometimes as a coach, you have to know when to be the mom, step in and say, hey, I'm the adult in the house. And at the end of the day, like if we're going to keep it a buck, she's not the one on the court playing, but she is the head coach. And so if things go amok, she's the first one who's going to get blamed. And that's how it goes. So sometimes I want her to take ownership of her role and her job security, quite honestly. And the New York Liberty, because that's another way. Sometimes you have to learn by going through it. Playing in a finals is one of those things. Sometimes you have to learn by having an immediate consequence. And a game can feel long. So sometimes the coach, if this makes sense, hopefully this makes sense, sometimes the coach has to create an immediate consequence. You're getting benched. I'm not running plays for you. Whatever the case is, you're going to have to talk to me, sit and talk to me on the bench about this. We're going to have a film session. You need that just so it reinforces, let's go, Leo. Let's go, Leo. I love her confidence because those shots were looking gnarly in the first half, and she keeps shooting the ball. I love it. I'm going to have to go get my nuggets before they get cold again. Collier, she's got a really nice shot. It's just very fluid. It's a pretty looking shot. Some people do not have a pretty shot. Alyssa Thomas, we know. Tina Charles does not have a pretty shot. It's effective, but it's not pretty. But Collier has a very pretty shot. Ooh, JJ. She's lined up her shot really nice in the last couple of years. Definitely since coming to New York. Gosh, she's just, steady, the anchor for this team. 60-53 New York with 2:22. 2:22 left in the third for me. But Damian, you are on point with your assessment. We know this is a problem for the New York Liberty. And that's why if they can find a way to find more Leo type players, Leo is a rookie, but she's not. Leo is a veteran, but she's not. She embodies that baby vet idea. Someone who has international high pressure experience and can quickly translate that to the WNBA style of play is what the New York Liberty needs. I think Gardner can give you that. In the rookie draft, you're going to have a 7 pick. You need to pick a solid player at 7. But again, I think it's more so what are you getting in that player and or what can you get for that player, because you need thinkers. The New York Liberty need decision makers. They need like a Kim Perot or Perrot. Is it Perot? I never know, to be honest. You need someone who's not going to be afraid to say what needs to be said. And the New York Liberty have struggled with that. The players have been honest about that. It's sometimes there were, I don't know if you want to say walking on eggshells, but there was a little bit of, can I say this? If I say this, will it be taken the right way? Will I offend someone? And sometimes you need to say all offense intended. Get your life together. And that's going back to Seattle. Skylar Diggins-Smith is that kind of player. There's also a balance. Skylar definitely toes the line. And she comes from an era where there's a little bit more tolerance when it comes to how she communicates. I'm kind of like Skylar Diggins-Smith in that way. I've had to learn how to communicate, how I communicate so that I'm not offending people. And that's what it is. There's a world in which you can be who you are as a Skylar Diggins-Smith type and still have a good locker room. There's also a world in where you are yourself and that doesn't resonate with people. And the issue becomes who, if not the coaches, in the locker room is going to be able to be the Rosetta Stone between a person with a very excitable personality and someone who's maybe a little bit more tame. And I know this is a podcast for New York Liberty fans. We're doing the watch along, but if I had to summarize what I think, 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 this is just me pulling things together. I'm not reporting on anything. If I had to tell you what I think is at least some of the problem in Seattle, is that you have a Skylar with people like NECA, people like Jewel, people like Noelle Quinn, who are very respected, but their energy isn't the same. Their demeanor and how they approach difficult situations, conflict, is not the way Skylar approaches conflict. And it's a little bit, it seems to me like it's a little bit of a winding road as opposed to very direct. Skylar's direct. I'm direct. I would like to see a little bit more of that direct, hey, let's talk about this. We're not meeting the goal here. We got to get better. The New York Liberty need a little bit of that. Now, I'm not saying Skylar Diggins-Smith is the right player. I'm not saying she's not the right player. Also, she's, I don't think, an option, but I'm just giving an example. But it's a balance, because if you can change the chemistry of a team to the point where it becomes toxic instead of a powerful fuel. And I think that's what we see happening in Seattle, at least part of the region. And then when people get their feelings hurt, sometimes they do things outside of character or outside of how they would normally act in professional settings and situations. Not to mention then if other people who are not maybe directly given quote unquote permission to speak on behalf of players are speaking as if they are speaking on behalf of players. And it's like, oh, well, this person is related to this person, or this person knows this person, so this must be what the player wants. It's a little messy. Can you get that? Ooh, Courtney Vandersloot. I was going to make this point, and I think I got distracted earlier. I've been thinking a lot about Katie Smith and the fact that you can say a lot about Katie Smith and her very short tenure as head coach for the New York Liberty. The New York Liberty don't get Sabrina if not for Katie Smith. So there you go. Her biggest claim to fame as a head coach for the New York Liberty was helping secure the number 1 pick. And I really don't mean that. I'm not like throwing shade. I'm just saying, like, when it's all said and done, it sucked to watch. It sucked to cover. I was covering the New York Liberty at that time as a beat writer for The Athletic. And that was brutal. And I like Katie Smith. Like, I have a good rapport with her. That was a tough time. And I thought she got a raw deal. Bill Laimbeer, first missed free throw from Stewie. Oh, dear. It starts. This is interesting, though. Stewie just missed that free throw. Does she miss this one as well? No, she makes that. Okay. So they called a foul on Collier that looked eerily similar to the play where they called the foul on Leo. So even in this game, very similar plays, and the consistency is not there. That's just a quick eye test. I'd have to look and maybe align, like, where was Leo, or more so to the point, where was Alana in her defensive position compared to Fee? Where was Leo compared to Stewie? But just really quickly, I don't understand how you call a foul on Leo earlier in the game And then you call that against Fee. And Fee was upset. And honestly, I kind of think rightfully so. The Liberty needs Teresa Weatherspoon because she holds play. Listen, I would love to see it. Where do they put her, though? As of right now, there's not a vacancy, right? I just want to double check. The Liberty can hold 4 coaches because Sandy Brondello is a former player. But I don't think they have room, right? Because it's Sandy Brondello, it's Olaf, Ronika Hodges, and Zach O'Brien. Like, who's moving on? Also, I'd be interested. I think Sandy. I think Sandy and Spoon can work for sure. I need to think about it. I want to think about it. I need to see it in action. I need to see it on paper. Yeah. I mean, sometimes former players get thrown into the front office. I don't think, if she's not going to coach, I don't think you need to give her a front office role because she already has that cachet. She is, until the New York Liberty. I mean, Sabrina is probably getting there. Stewie and JJ as well. That looked like a foul on Maisha Hines-Allen. I'm going to have to go get my Nuggets because they're going to get cold again. Maisha Hines-Allen gave JJ a really aggressive hip check just now. Oh, there she goes. She put the ball down. It does. Do they call it a jump ball? Do they call it a jump ball? Sandy's outfits are out of control. First of all, I need a blank check. And then I need to have her stylist come find me. Anyway, I don't think you just give Teresa Weatherspoon a front office position. She already holds a lot of cachet, obviously, with the fan base. And I do think every New York Liberty player for the end of eternity, woo! Okay, Natisha Heineman. I think every New York Liberty player till the end of time will always have respect for Teaspoon, or at least they freaking better. I don't think you just give her a front office role. I think she needs to be with the players. So the player development roles they're not exactly like, there's not really a player development role, or maybe I'm wrong. I don't think there's a specific player development role for the New York Liberty right now. Swin Cash maybe kind of had some of that, but also, what does that even mean, player development? Not everyone knows. It's not in the same way as you see in the NBA. But again, you have smaller roster size, like as far as how many players deep your roster can be. And until recently, it was like, I wrote an article on this when I was a beat writer for the New York Liberty and the Athletic, and they changed the rule about coaches very recently to where you could add a 4th assistant if one of your coaches, head coach or otherwise, is a former WNBA player. So that's their way to open up more spots for WNBA players and to incentivize adding more WNBA players. Big rebound by Leo. 70-64. Sadly, we know it won't last, but ooh. Alana, awkward fall. Okay, I'm going to take this moment to go get my food. BRB. Oh, poor Alana. She had a tough series. Tough child. Tough child. All right. I'll be right back. Nice move by Andalusini there, but she couldn't get the roll. Good ball movement. Stewie, big time three. Holy cannoli. I'm glad I know how the series ends, because imagine watching this game and not knowing how it ended and having to feel that feeling all over again. So yeah, I don't know. I think I don't know what the right role is for Teaspoon, but she wants to coach, I think. And so I think you have to be beyond just giving her like cosmetic positions. She needs a coaching job. She needs to have a coaching role. And I don't see right now that there's room for her to do that for the New York Liberty. That doesn't mean she doesn't come in, oh, okay, Adam Silver in the building. The WNBA commissioner who announced earlier today that next year the finals will go 7 games. How great is that? Fantastic. For the league, for us, I don't know how it is for Steve, Rose, Dave, Thomas, and Siobhan. Or your crew. But great news all around. McBride can't that three. Phoenix the rebound. Elevator screen for McBride to get a decent look there out of the timeout. Also announced the first round will go 1-1-1 rather than. I don't like 1-1-1. Leo. Mean. Oh, there goes another one. And they call a foul on her again. This is wild. Okay, they're saying that's on JJ, but JJ did call that screen. If you look at the replay, she calls that. And Leo looked more prepared for that one, to be honest. These finals with by far and away the best plus minus of any player in these playoffs. He has been essential to New York's run. I don't like the 1-1-1 format. I think, yeah, I don't like the 1-1-1 format. Like, miss me with a team that hasn't earned home court in the first round, that they quote unquote deserve a home game. No. If you want a home game, then win. Period. If you want a home game, win game 1 on the road. And then if it's a 2-1, you're still going to play at home. But to make the higher seed have to track, like, that's stupid. I think that's so stupid. I don't like 1-1-1 at all. Also, it's brutal for national media. Maybe that's why I don't like. That's probably why I really don't like it. Like, so now I gotta travel 3 different. I gotta travel 3 different times potentially. Like, they act like media. We're not seeing any of these We're not seeing any of these dollars. All the more reason, subscribe to our YouTube channel, watch our videos, like them, comment, subscribe to our newsletter so we can monetize that with hopefully not footing the bill. We want to make as much content free as possible. But baby, we're going 7 games and we're doing a 1-1-1 in the first round. If you want coverage, we got to find a way to make money, baby. That's crazy. So at 4:06 in the fourth quarter, 81-69 is your score. Stewie felt she got fouled. Probably right. Sam got fouled. But she finishes. 2 years ago, that ponytail goes sky high and she's trying to get that call. She still whipped that thing, but at least she finished out the play. I like that maturity from her.
4 minutes to go, 12-point New York lead and a foul. To go against Stewart, the third.
Stewart is arguing this call because she's like, okay, I got laid out on the other side. Y'all didn't call anything. And all of a sudden, now it's a foul on me. This suit from Sandy Brondello is giving me Diane Keaton vibes. It's very androgynous, but then she modernizes it with her sneakers. I like it. Timeout New York.
Back down to single digits with 3:39 to go.
Y'all keep saying this. I don't think Teresa Weatherspoon is getting a championship ring. She was the head coach for the Chicago Sky. I mean, I want the world and more for Teaspoon, but I don't think that means that she has earned a championship ring. Like, I don't think she should get a ring, fam. I'm gonna be honest. Or what I would be down with is if the New York Liberty do a special ring for alum, or they make them a jacket. But should they get the same championship ring that the players on the active roster are getting? No. Like, no. I don't believe in that. Nah. That's just me. Nah. I keep seeing that. At least she's going to get her championship ring. She wasn't on the coaching staff. She wasn't on the roster. I mean, she was already fired by the time the playoffs started. Was she? I guess so. Or the finals. Great rebounding by Stewie. I don't think she should get the same ring. Oh. I don't think she should get a ring. Y'all let me know in the comments. What do y'all think? These nuggets are a little dry. It's because I had to heat them up twice.
Imagine this game if the Liberty did not have 16 more field goal attempts than Minnesota, just crushing on the offensive glass.
83-76, 2:10 left in the fourth. She's got to shoot. She doesn't see it.
A game 2 of the best of 5 WNBA Finals Sunday afternoon at 3 Eastern, 2 Central on ABC. And the out WNBA countdown tips off our coverage at 2:30. In possession here for Minnesota, Williams can't hit the three.
Williams just took a three, back rimmed it, but that's the exact spot where she hits the shot earlier or later in the game.
It's a 5-point game.
Rosie was imploring her team off of that offensive board. Go, go, understanding time and score.
The 12-2 Minnesota run. Ionescu. Off to Stewart.
No, I know you disagree,
Stewart, the leader.
but I don't know.
Rebound Minnesota.
Listen,
Here comes Heineman.
championship rings should be for the people who are on the team.
Stewart on the attack.
If they do a different ring, I love that.
The drive from Heineman.
Same ring, nah.
1 minute to go.
And I don't know. I don't know. I've known Teaspoon for a minute. I get the sense that she'd be cool with that. Of course, she should be recognized. I don't think that she's asking to be recognized. Also, like her saying, ring me. I don't know. I didn't take that literally. I didn't take it literally. She identifies with the New York Liberty. She always has. She always will. Some people, I don't think always have or do now. Rebecca Lobo, maybe. Becky Hammond's in a different situation. She's won 2 rings with the Aces. I think she has love for New York, but not the same love that Teaspoon has. So, like, ring me, that's like, that's like a phrase. I didn't take it literal. And I don't think, give her a special jacket. She's already in the Ring of Honor. She's got lifetime access to whatever she wants. But, you got to let some things be for the players. They're the ones who won it. They won it.
Minnesota obviously can play straight up defense here with 42.5 seconds to go.
And they won it
14-2 run.
not even in the same building. Oh,
By Collier.
I thought we were going to get a jump ball. They won it in a different building, different ownership, different head coach, different logo.
Ionescu gets it up. Jones inside. Gets denied by Collier.
Mm.
The shot clock for New York.
Nafisa Collier, man, she played these refs like a dang fiddle.
How did Lisa still end up blocking that shot when her other one was stuck?
Defensive player of the year for a reason. 3 on the shot clock. Stewart gives it up. Jones has to put it up. Didn't realize it. And New York turns it over again.
Okay.
Shot clock
It's starting to fall apart. Shot clock violations, lack of communication,
This is just incredible.
good pressure from Minnesota.
One arm here. JJ is holding it. And still just goes up and able to contest from ridiculously tough play. And gets on a wall. While her other arm is being held. That is a really important thing to do. And that's why we're showing it to you so many times.
Big block of the game for Collier. Her defense on Stewart has been
And then here's another thing.
sensational. And now the Lynx, who are
You're giving Spoon a ring.
from the dead for a second time in this game.
Is Wicks getting a ring?
18.5 seconds to go.
Vicky Johnson,
Down just 3.
Kim Hampton, Rebecca Lobo, Crystal Robinson. I mean, like, how far do we go? Becky, are you giving Becky Hammond a ring? Like, does Becky Hammond get a ring? Does Becky Hammond get a ring? Like, I want to know. Crystal Robinson, Teresa Weatherspoon, Becky Hammond, and forgive me if I'm forgetting anyone, but those are all former Liberty players that were on a coaching staff for another WNBA team this last season. Like, listen, you cannot give them the same ring that the players get. You cannot give them the same ring that the staff, the coaching staff, the training staff, the support staff, the front office, like, they can't get the same ring. Give them something, absolutely. But the same ring when you were on a whole different WNBA team, like, for real, but for real. You giving Crystal Robinson and Becky Hammond the same ring that you want to give Teaspoon? All 3 of them were on a different team. That's crazy to me. Whoa, there it goes. That's crazy to me. No. No. Bad foul by Sab.
Dominated on the offensive glass. It's the full board out to the three, plus the foul, Courtney Williams.
Williams, an 81% free throw shooter. Hits the free throw, and Minnesota.
All right, but Damian,
First lead of the
this ain't baseball. This ain't baseball.
17
And that might be what they did. That don't mean I agree with it. No. Give them something. But the same ring, she was coaching one of your opponents, beat y'all early in the season. Are you going to give her a ring? That's crazy to me. Like at some point, you can't just be doing rings are earned. Rings are earned. Teaspoon earned something, but she ain't earned the same exact ring that the players get. No. I ain't with that. I ain't with that. Baseball is a longer season. I don't know Frank Thomas. Well, that's not true. I do know who Frank Thomas is. Okay, made contributions to the franchise. Like, what does that mean? Was he an investor? Was he a coach? Was he actively working with the White Sox? I know he is a former player. Now he's in commercials. But if he was making contributions like an investor, a consultant, a broadcaster, an assistant coach, that's different than if Frank Thomas were on a whole different team as an actual, they use manager in baseball, as a manager. If he's the manager, he's the manager of the Cubs. He's the active manager of the Cubs. The Cubs do not get to the playoffs. The White Sox win, and he's just getting a ring? That's not what you're saying. At least that's not how you typed it. Like, if he was contributing to the team, then he should get a ring because he contributed to the team that won the World Series. That makes sense to me. As far as I know, Teresa Weatherspoon spent all season until her termination with Chicago. So I don't think it would be ethically possible for her to, at any point in time during the run, to have contributed in any meaningful way to the New York Liberty in 2024. Like, I'm saying former players who paved the way deserve to be recognized. They do not deserve to get the same ring that the players who won the title get. No. They don't. They shouldn't get the same ring. That's what I mean. I've said it multiple times, very clearly. I think give them something else. They deserve to be recognized, but do they deserve the same exact ring to the specs as the players who went out and played those games, as the coaches, as the front office? No, they don't deserve the same ring. Because then what does that do to the value of working for a championship ring and a title? Like, to me, give them a piece of the net, give them a piece of the championship court, in a special plaque, give them a placard, a varsity jacket, give them something. Sure, I have no problem with that. I have a problem with them getting the same ring, especially because, again, she was the head coach of one of the opponents. Becky Hammon paved the way for the New York Liberty as well. She was the head. Do you want to see? Answer me this. Do y'all want to see Becky Hammon get a championship ring? Get a championship ring. The same one that Stewie's getting. The same one that Jonquel Jones gets. That's what y'all want to see? It's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me, dog. Recognize everyone in the Ring of Honor. Have them there for the ceremony, unless they have active obligations to another WNBA team. But give them the same ring? Nah.
Now, if you only have a reset remaining, but no timeout, you cannot challenge.
Justin, you get me. You get me. Honor them. Thumbs up. Same exact ring. Thumbs down. Let me put it this way. No, that's like a stupid example. Like, if you get married for the first time, do you give a wedding ring to all of your exes or to your current partner's exes? You know what I'm like? I don't. Rings are special, and they represent in sports a commitment that a team had on a shared path and a shared journey. That's what a championship ring is about. Now, there are commemorative rings, right? There might be a replica ring that fans get. There are commemorative rings that you can buy. Give them one of those. But when you get a championship ring, I feel like the team deserves to have that be their thing. If you didn't have access to that locker room 24/7, 365 during the championship run, I ain't with it. Now, okay, don't throw MLB rules at me, because I do know that if you got traded and then the team that you got traded away from wins a title, I do know that they give you a championship ring. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because you know what? You were a part of the journey. But other than that, you can call it harsh if you want. Honor them for sure. For sure. Give them special jerseys, bronze their shoes, etch their name in the sky. Like, do all of that. But the same ring? No. That's where I draw the line, homie. That's where I draw the line. Oh dear, here come these free throws. Here come these free throws. Oh, no, these are the good ones. Or, well, no, this is about to be the bad one. Oh dear, here we go. Ooh. Oh. Poor Stewie. She's so mad. Understandable. Oh my God. Gutted. Oh, I was gutted when this happened. I didn't expect to feel so at watching it again. I hated watching that just now. All right. Overtime. Okay. I said we were going to talk about the coaching situation in Minnesota. Let's get these 0.5 seconds out of the way. Oh, overtime. Gross. Okay. So Minnesota, Katie Smith no longer with the Minnesota coaching staff. They announced Eric Tebow as the associate head coach and Lindsay Whalen as a part of the coaching staff. What do y'all feel about this? I want to know what this means for so it was Brunson and who else was on the coaching staff? Oh, okay. So Rebecca Brunson was a second assistant coach. She was promoted in 2023. Hold on. I want to.
So here was Williams. The three, the tie, and the foul from Ionescu.
Okay. So they have Cheryl Reeve as head coach and president of basketball ops. Rebecca Brunson, assistant coach. Elaine Powell, assistant coach. And that's who they have listed. They added Eric Thibault as associate head coach, which makes him second in command to Cheryl Reeve. And then Lindsay Whalen. I love Lindsay Whalen coming in. Love that. But again, does that mean that Brunson, we know Katie Smith gone. Does that mean Brunson or Powell is gone? Because you can only have 4 coaches, including the head coach. You can have up to 4 coaches if one of your coaches is a former WNBA player. Rebecca Brunson would fit the bill there, and obviously so too would Lindsay Whalen. If there was an announcement about Powell or Brunson, then I missed it. But they're still listed. Katie Smith is not listed, but also they don't have Thibault or Lindsay Whalen up here. So I don't know what's going on there. But I love Lindsay Whalen. I hope this means that she wants to really get back on track with a coaching career. See, here we go. Hold on. Elaine Powell. Georgia Southern. We used to play Georgia Southern in softball. Yeah, I don't know. But
the rules used to be in the WNBA, but the last 2 minutes, the officials could go to the monitor to review those plays. No longer can unless it's foul.
I like Lindsay Whalen coming back to Minnesota. I love that Cheryl Reeve is bringing back key pieces of the talking of legacy. So that's a way. You want former Liberty players to get a championship ring? Put them on the coaching staff. Boom. Eric Thibault as the associate head coach. I feel like there's a few things going on here. And this is where sometimes the world drives me up a wall. Associate head coach is basically the second in command, right? It's kind of, you're an assistant coach, but you're like the first assistant coach. Having Brunson there, she's been there for a while. Having Lindsay Whalen come in and him immediately get associate head coach. Now you could say, sure, he's been a head coach in the league before. You know what? So is Katie Smith, and I don't think she ever got the title of associate head coach. Katie Smith had as many years as a head coach in the WNBA as Eric Thibault did. Katie Smith was also an assistant coach and an associate head coach for the New York Liberty before going to Minnesota. And I could be wrong, but I think she was labeled an assistant, never an associate head coach. I'm actually going to look that up right now because it's going to bother me. And I feel like there's optics here. The Thibault name is very prevalent in basketball. And so this is where, is it that Thibault is advocating in a way that others aren't? Is it that you want the cachet, and you, that being the Minnesota organization, wants the cachet of Thibault, and the way that you get Thibault is to give him a title like that? I just want to know the thought process when there were comparable people with the organization prior and even that are coming in now that we're not given that title. And I've never been in love with Eric Tebow as a head coach. So there's that. But I think putting all of that aside, I like this for Tebow because, again, if you want to be a head coach, you have to get your reps. But Eric Tebow, coached a team that was in the lottery, and he has an associate head coaching role. Where is Tanisha Wright? Where is LT? Where is Vicky Johnson? Well, I actually think she's she was on the Atlanta staff. I don't know. Anyway, where was she? Where's her associate head coach role? Where's Teresa Weatherspoon? Like, I just don't, you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't care for Tebow's style, but that's just me. I don't have anything against him. I know a lot of people ask and raise a lot of questions based on him getting a lot of his experience under his father. So now he's branching out. Good for him. And I guess we'll find out soon if he's got the chops or not. Okay, Katie Smith. She's an assistant coach with the Ohio State University now. She goes back to her alma mater. Okay. They called her the lead assistant coach, I think. Lead assistant coach. So what's the difference between associate head coach, lead assistant coach, first or second assistant coach? Like, what are all these terms? But this is what you do when you negotiate contracts. And sometimes this seems kind of silly to me, but it makes a difference when you go somewhere else. It's like, I was the lead assistant, or I was the associate head coach. Are lead assistant and associate head coach the same thing? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. They seem kind of comparable to me. But like, how does this dude get associate head coach and not lead assistant? I don't know. Like, that's just weird to me. All right. Rebecca Lobo talking about how will the Liberty respond? Well, we know the answer for this game. Not great. Not great. They did better on the series. I would have liked Sloot to step in and get that rebound. Just what she did really well earlier in the game. 84-88, 2:05 left in overtime. Expansion draft. I think it's KT or Maureen Johannes that goes to the Valkyries. We've talked about it. You protect Leo, you protect JJ, you protect Stewie, you protect Sab. So how many is that? Leo, Stewie, JJ, Sab. I keep losing track. Leo, Stewie, JJ, Sab, Benajelani Hamilton, and Niara Sabali. I think everyone's in agreement there. I don't know that people agree on who the Golden State Valkyries are going to take. My gut is, and I don't know. I think it's either Maureen Johannes if they want to bolster their offense and flashiness. I think it's Kayla Thornton if they want to, big time 3 by JJ. Golly, her 3 is like liquid gold. It's beautiful. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how the Valkyries build out. I wonder what Washington does with Elena Deladon. Now that the Tebows are gone, is that their way of saying that they want big time shot by Courtney Williams? But then she didn't really replicate that. She didn't replicate that in game 5, that's for sure. And she got lost in the sauce later in this series. Courtney Williams, that is. McBride, needed more from her. You needed more from Bridget Carlton, I think. Poor Alana Smith working on Icy Hot in a Dream, but held her own against JJ. She's undersized to take on JJ.
With 23, and it's a 4-point Minnesota lead.
Courtney Williams has been able to simply get to her spots throughout this game. And yes, the shot.
I mean, we'll see.
But so are the
EDD is so interesting. I never can get a handle on her. We know she left UConn to be closer to home. She's had a lot of injuries. 2019 is the best I personally ever have seen her. But, she might not want a project. Washington is a project right now. So, I forgot about that steal from Sab. Sab had an interesting game. I honestly don't remember how this game ends. Like, I know who wins, but I don't remember what the last play looked like. Like, I forgot about this hustle play from Sab. A floater. I love that she stepped up there. You got to go for it, babes. But where does Deladon go? Where does she go? And if you're Washington, there's no way I'm giving her up for free. I mean, she might go for free anyway, but you're just gonna give her to Golden State? I'd protect her with all my life. All my life. If they want her, I don't know. Yeah, what is her status actually? I'm just talking now. I don't know what her status is. I mean, for the purposes of the expansion draft, she would have to be on a Mystics protected list. But is she a free agent? I honestly don't know. Because she did not accept the core, that's why she sat out. Let me see this real quick. If y'all know, type it in because I'm going to her hoop stats right now. Salary cap sheets. Hold on, let me see this. I feel like I'm gonna be sick, even though I know what happens. I don't remember any of this. 28.6, 93, tied at 93. Oh, and a block. When I tell you, oh gosh, I remember now. Sandy gets a little frantic when it comes to trying to figure out challenges. I think it's adorable. It's also extremely frustrating. Nice move by Collier. Yep. Okay, I remember now. Okay. Gosh. Okay, hold on. Jeez. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember any of this. All right. Okay, so she was cored in 24, Elena Deladon. She sat out. She is considered a part of the Washington Mystics. I'm assuming Washington is going to protect her in the draft. I mean, I would. I don't care if she's leaving because she's a UFA in the coming season, 2025. I'm not giving her up for free in the expansion draft so she can be a staple piece in someone else's. No, make them pay top dollar. Like, get them in a salary cap crunch. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I would they already court her. They can't court her. I would protect her in the expansion draft. Okay, thank you, Hannah. I didn't even see that. Thank you. But yeah, I don't know. Is it that she doesn't want to be with Washington, like the Washington Mystics? Is it that she didn't want to work with the Tebows? Is it like I don't know that I understand completely what was going on there. But I mean, Elena Deladon didn't play last year. The league keeps getting better. She's got a lot of injury issues throughout her career. Does she want to be on a team that has had to dig themselves out of the basement the last few years? No Natasha Cloud, no Maisha Hines Allen. I mean, Aaliyah Edwards is. I wish she played for. I wish that people recognized her game a little more.
3 seconds left. Stewart gets fouled. He's on the shot. The officials will say no.
Oh yeah, I remember now.
That one was close. That was close.
Was it close, Rebecca? Gosh, sometimes. Anyway, I'm sorry. I lost my composure. That was not close. Like, come on, Rebecca. I like it. Like, don't be like. We get it. We get it. But also, let's like call the game. That was not close. That was a foul. That was a foul. Jeez. Oh my God. Yes. Oof. Oof. I blocked all of that out. Like when I kept forgetting how this game ended. I forgot that she had that look. I blocked it out. Ugh. It still makes me ill. And I was sitting where she was coming toward us. Oh God, just missed everything, babes. Oof. And she just, like, Alana didn't hit her. She just missed it. She just missed it. Oof. Why am I so hurt right now? I'm so upset right now. I'm so mad. I hated every second of that. You know what it is that I didn't really get to feel this. I was working this game. So, and I already have delayed emotional responses, but like seeing it and knowing I don't have to talk to the players after or write something or be on camera. Well, I am on camera, but like I can just react to it. Oh, gutted. And also, like, Stewie, man, people come for her all the time. They come for her all the time, man. I think I remember that being one of the things that I felt after this game. I never vocalized it because, like, I don't think it made sense in the moment as a part of what I was doing reporting on this series. But, man, you know, she gets a lot of slack. And when you do stuff like that, it's going to become a part of your legacy for better or worse. And she knows that, which is why I think I feel for her in that moment, because I can only imagine, you know, the private conversations that she had with herself, with her loved ones after a game, even after the series, to be honest. She has another title. But come on, like, come on, let's be real. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause that. We don't need that anymore. What version of Stewie, what version of Sab do we get next season? They won a title, and when you're someone like Stewie, especially, Sab has never won a title before. She won an Olympic gold medal and the WNBA title. Stewie has won at every level. I gotta think that it's as much as it is about helping a team win a title, It's also about playing like she's the greatest, if not one of the greatest. She's one of the greatest. Is she the greatest right now? You can argue that. But what makes it hard to differentiate is that she didn't play well in this WNBA Finals. Is she dealing with an injury? She hasn't disclosed anything, at least that I know of. Just like I said, I predicted Stewie would be a different player on the other side of the Olympics. I think, and I'm curious to see how Unrivaled helps her with her like her timing and her fit. Like she seemed like she was a little slow out of the gate, and I think that's because she took all of the off season off last year. But like, what version of Stewie are we going to get? I think there's a world in which we see a version of Stewie that we've never seen before. And that is going to be so exciting. That's going to be exciting. And the same for Sab, because she reached a pinnacle for her. But now that you've gotten there, and she's been a person who hasn't had a title, who's never had a title, but has been like in that kind of conversation, you're like a hamster on a wheel. You want to chase it and chase greatness at all costs. So again, what versions of Stewie and Sab do we see at the start of next season? And for me, I think JJ falls into that category as well, but JJ had a great performance. We talked about that on the last episode of Gotta Get Up. But those three in particular, if they elevate their game, then you really start putting the pressure on the front office and especially Sandy Brondello and her coaching staff to make sure that, a la Destiny's Child, you telling the rest of them, can you keep up? Can you keep up? That's what I want the motto of the New York Liberty team to be. Can you keep up? In practice, can you keep up with this? Like, challenge each other in practice. Go at it. Can you keep up with what I'm doing in the off season? Can you keep up with what I'm doing in the regular season? Can you keep up with what I'm doing in the Commissioner's Cup? Can you keep up? There you go. Boom. New York Liberty, just write me the check. Have that be your little, theme or whatever. Can you keep up? Like, that's the mentality I want the New York Liberty to enter 2025 with. Can you keep up? Can you keep up? EDD or AC would make good fits for New York. I don't know about EDD at this stage. Where does she play? Where does she play? Did she play? Well, see, EDD is one of those. She's like so freaking tall, but she also plays like a million. She's like a Stewie in that way. Okay, like, serious question. What position do y'all think? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. What position do y'all think Elena Delle Donne plays? The 3, the 4, or the 5? What is her true position? Like, what is her true position? That's the first question. Second question, what position would she play for the New York Liberty? You would have a massively big lineup if you put her, because then if you put her at the 3, then Leo comes off the bench. I'm okay with that. Right? And then you have Bonajalini Hamilton at the 2, I guess. But then Sab is playing the 1. I don't love Sab at the 1. If you have her at the 4, then where does Stewie play the 3? JJ's your 5. Even if EDD is on the team, JJ's your 5, right? I mean, are we all agree on that? I don't know that she makes sense for this New York Liberty squad. Her skill set is ridiculous. I would take that, Well, who do you get rid of? Who goes? Who comes off the bench? If someone comes off the bench who's been starting, then you have to get rid of someone on the bench. Who leaves? Not to mention, I'm not even talking about numbers yet. Like, what does that look like financially? So, I don't know. I don't think I agree on Elena Delle Donne. Damien, one day I just want you to type that you don't like Sabrina Ionescu. Just go ahead and type it. Just go ahead and type it. Just go ahead and say it. Great players have struggled in the playoffs. Also, she got injured during the playoffs. Her shot wasn't peak in game 1, but she impacted the game in other ways because that's what great players do. Because when you're a great player, the other team is going to take away your best asset. That's literally their job. So she did what she needed to do in game 1. She gets hurt somewhere between, she had a freaking monster game in game 3. And then somewhere in game 4, I think she gets hurt. So she stank it up in 4 and 5, but the Liberty go up in game 3 literally because of Sabrina Ionescu. So, I mean, I don't, just say you don't like her. It's fine. Just say you don't like Sabrina Ionescu. It's fine. I don't like Han Ju on the New York Liberty roster. I don't have anything against Han as a basketball player. I don't think she makes sense for New York. I don't think Elena Delle Donne makes sense for New York, but they're great players. Sabrina Ionescu is the future of the New York Liberty, period. Teaspoon has all but confirmed it. She's christened her. Spike Lee has christened her. She's the number 1 draft pick. She's the future, period. That's it. That's it. Who comes off? So who do you get rid of if you want EDD? Who do you get rid of? I wouldn't mind that she has a better, so you're getting rid of Niara? But then again, who does EDD come off the bench? You think Elena Delle Donne is going to come off the bench and take Niara's minutes? I don't see it. I don't see how it works with the way the New York Liberty is constructed now. Her skill set is ridiculous. Her shot is like, when her shot is on, it's insane. When she's healthy, hard pressed to find anyone better. But I just don't, I think that time has passed, maybe, but I don't know. The Mystics are trash. They're just, I don't know what was going on with the Mystics. But again, this is not a Washington Mystics podcast. We might have to ask Misha about that. I just don't understand. Like, there's so many things I don't understand about what happened at Washington. And I guess technically they weren't a lottery team, even though they absolutely should have been, which is also like, you played that bad just to not be a lottery team. Ooh, that's tough. Who was it? Minnesota, or nope. LA. Dallas. LA, Dallas. Why am I blanking? LA, Dallas. Y'all help me out. This beer is kicking in for sure. LA, Dallas. I probably have it in my notes somewhere. Oh, Chicago. Or were they a lottery team? I don't remember. Y'all, I don't remember. I'm tired. I have 8.4 ABV beer. I mean, she's been in 2 postseasons. One was her first finals. The New York Liberty. I think she's going to be fine. She's going to be fine. She'll be fine. She gets the keys. She's the future of the W. She's the future of the Liberty. She'll be fine. I'm not worried about her. She took on point guard minutes. I don't think she's a point guard, and she did that because that's what the team needed. And she did pretty well. I still don't want her at the point, but she did pretty well. She'll be all right. She'll be all right. Sometimes great players, great teams struggle. It's because it's not like it's easy to win a championship. I mean, you've been a New York Liberty fan for a while. You should know it's not freaking easy. Been to the finals 5 times before they got a title. It's not easy. But she'll be all right. She'll be all right. She's got to stay quick. No more lower body injuries. Yeah, she's got to get a little tighter in crunch time. She's been a great player, but she's never played at this level. I love what she did at the Olympics. I think that was a huge confidence boost for her coming into this WNBA Finals. I still think she has to refine her decision-making capabilities. Obviously, fouling Courtney Williams, not ideal. But Stewie is a top 3 women's basketball player in the world. And she missed a layup and she missed free throws in a critical game. But she also had a lot of great rebounds. She had a lot of blocks, a lot of good defensive plays. Like, you know, she'll be all right. You know, the hate that they get, for people who want to hate their game, that's what they're going to pick up on. Of course. Of course. And you know what? You gave them ammunition. So I'm not mad at people who are hating on her. I think it's short-sighted. But all right, she missed a lot of shots. 1 of 19. Cool. Put it on the t-shirt. That's exactly what happened. But see what happens next year. I'm telling you. Level it up. Can they keep up? I'm telling you right now. You heard it here first, folks. This is my bold prediction for next year. If we get Sav and Stewie to commit to a mentality where they want everything to be about, can you keep up? They increase the intensity, I'm telling you, in practice, in the locker room, in the weight room. This is a dangerous New York Liberty squad. Dangerous. You've got 3 of arguably the top 10, 15 women's basketball players right now on your roster in your starting 5. Can you keep up? That's it. That's what I want. Like, if I were the New York Liberty GM and head coach, that's what I would tell them. That's our mantra. You interpret that however you want. And Sandy's got to be a little tough on them. She gave them the time to come together. Now I want to see the tough love. I've said I would love to see Plum. I'd love to see Plum Dog in New York. But again, we don't need a 2 guard. We need a point guard. I'm personally, at this particular moment in time, I don't know that. I think Kelsey Plum and Sabrina Ionescu are very different players. Kelsey Plum has more championships because she's played with the Aces. Kelsey Plum didn't have a particularly great season last year. And I think I would say that Sabrina's upside is more promising than Kelsey's. Kelsey plays very well and very aggressive, and I love that. And she can make a good team great. Sabrina is a great player that elevates, that has the potential to elevate her teammates and her team at a different level. Comparable, but not the same. But I would be okay with Plum Dog. But again, who do you get rid of? She's not really a point guard. The Aces tried that and it didn't really work out. So I don't see that without some significant changes. In a few years, maybe. But you would have to have Sab be playing the 1. And I don't think that's her role. I think you need to keep a veteran, keep Vandersloot, get a young point guard, a true WNBA caliber point guard to work under Sloot for at least a year and who has good chemistry, can work well with Sabrina. If if Plum Dog wants to switch to the 1, she could come tomorrow. She could come tomorrow. It's just my opinion that that's not her strong suit in the W probably. And I don't even think she really wants to play the one, because Bill and Beard tried it and she resisted it. And I think that was right 2019. Those games, 20, what was it? 20. So the Aces won 2019, Mystics won. 2020, Seattle won. That means 21 was Chicago. So 22, 23 was Vegas. So that means Vegas. Who did Chicago play in their finals? Honestly, I can't remember. Phoenix. They played Phoenix. Right. Phoenix. Okay. So it might have been that 2019 run. That was the first WNBA Finals I covered. I think it was that 2018, 2019 run where Kelsey Plum was really resisting being put in the PG spot because she was starting to feel healthy after her injury as a rookie. And it took her some time. It took her a few seasons to get into good rhythm. Kelsey Plum is not a shooting guard. Okay. Who's the point guard for the Aces? I think she even has a pretty significant nickname. And Chelsea Gray was hurt a lot of this year. And so Kelsey Plum played some guard. But did it work for Vegas? And Kelsey and Chelsea have started together. So I guess I disagree. Kelsey Plum is a shooting guard. Now you could argue maybe she's not only a shooting guard. I would say, again, Bill Laimbeer tried it and Kelsey Plum resisted it. And again, Kelsey Plum without Chelsea Gray wasn't necessarily the right recipe for the Aces. So if she's not a shooting guard, then what's her position? She's not a 3. She's not a 4 or a 5. We can say that. This is what I'm saying. There's a shortage on WNBA ready point guards, even among players that are playing the one. Who is the best? Who is a true point guard playing in the WNBA right now? Chelsea Gray. Let's go through the teams. Does Chicago have a championship-worthy point guard? No. Does Washington have a championship-worthy point guard right now? Probably no. Does Indiana have a championship-worthy? I'm not saying tomorrow. Does Indiana have a championship-worthy point guard? Yes. Who am I missing? Does Phoenix have a championship-worthy point guard? Who is Phoenix? Who is the Phoenix point guard? Is it Tosh? Again, I guess it's Tosh, right? Debatable. I don't know. I mean, she's won a title before, so there's that. But as that go-to point guard, debatable. Okay, so that's Phoenix. Who else? Does Dallas have a true point guard? Arike, to me, is not a point guard. And so who are they using? Vanessa Burton? Think she's a great role player. Don't think Dallas has one. Okay, who am I missing? New York Liberty, without Courtney Vandersloot starting, I have questions. And they're the champions. They're the freaking champions. Minnesota. They made Courtney Williams a point guard or a lead guard, as she said. Is that her natural role? Is that the role that she will play for the rest of her WNBA career? I don't know. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no. But it's still an experiment. So you have a decent amount of hybrid guards in the WNBA, but how many true, without question, every team that they play on, Olympics, international, WNBA, unrivaled, athletes unlimited, period, they are a point guard. There's very few true point guards right now in the WNBA, in my opinion. Jewel Lloyd didn't work out for her. She's not a point guard. Skylar Diggins-Smith, she's so interesting. Because I honestly think she might be a better 2 guard, but I guess she's a point guard. But she's a point guard that's had difficulty getting to the WNBA Finals and having success there. I don't know. I'm not saying yes. I'm not saying no about SDS. But that's my point. I feel like there's more SDS, Natasha Cloud, Kelsey Plum, even Sabrina, arguably Sabrina. She's a 2. Sabrina is a 2. The New York Liberty needs to keep her as a 2. But who's a true point guard who can get a team to the WNBA Finals? There's not a lot. I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck. I have a real issue with that. I should probably write about that soon. I have a lot of thoughts, obviously, about point guards. And like, what is it that's missing throughout the development stages of women's basketball that we don't have true point guards anymore? Everyone wanted to talk about positionless hockey. Or, excuse me, I said hockey because also positionless hockey is a thing taking hold in the last 15 years, but really in the last 5 years, like the rover position. Anyway, that's for another podcast. Positionless basketball, positionless sports. Everyone's talking about positionless sports. That hurts when you need a true point guard. That hurts when you need a true center. So I don't know. All right, folks, I am going to switch gears here. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you are in the Slack community. That's where we will vote on when we will do our next watch along or rewatch for game 2. Much more favorable outcome for the New York Liberty, but it's a grind of a series, obviously. But this was fun. This was fun to get to see the game without having to react immediately to it. Sit with it for a little bit. We're going to see what Sabrina, but more specifically, what Benajelani Hamilton does in game 2, proving that, in my opinion, she's a shooting guard and not a point guard. We're going to see what Sab does in game 3 and what she doesn't do in game 4 and 5. And, of course, how Leo, Niara, and JJ anchor the New York Liberty to get the first ever championship. I will... Courtney Williams for Courtney Vandersloot? No, I don't want that. Because again, I don't think Courtney Williams is a true point guard. I like her energy. I think she has a role, but we need a point guard. If you get rid of Sloot and you don't get a true point guard, then what were you doing? Anyway, join us on Slack. Thanks for joining us here. Have a great weekend. If you are so led, I'm going to be on later on SNY with Dexter talking about hockey. So check that out. I'll have the clips circulating on social media. But all right, we Ellie wave out of here. Later days, everybody.